there's so many different aspects to performance that fed into it. So motivation was started by Vroom, and Vroom is a famous researcher back in I think it may even have been the 40s, but certainly by the 60s. Talked about motivation and that
how do you motivate your employees?
How you motivate your employees, yes, how they're motivated, and that if they're motivated, they're going to perform better. Then we added to that Locke and Latham, and Locke really started in the 60s, and then the 90s they really took off. Locke and Latham are famous, probably the most famous organisational psychologist, researchers who added to it.
Locke and Latham,
yes,
two last names?
Two last names.
They published some papers together.
Many books, many papers.
Books together. Okay.
World-renowned. Everyone quotes them.
I'm going to write down Locke and Latham.
Yes. I've got their names written here. No, not there, but I can give you their Christian names, but you won't have trouble Googling and finding them. Edward Locke and Graham Latham, I think it is.
So that's around the 60s?
Yes, from the 60s through the 90s. Recently published a fabulous book in 2013, all about goal setting and performance and motivation and all that world. And again, they're all interrelated concepts. Performance on its own is not seen as a single well, it is a single construct, but it's so related.
So the first key word in the history of the industrial world, you're saying, was motivation. How do we motivate employees? Clearly knowing that we get the best or the most out of people when they're motivated. That's how it started, right?
Yes, but then the Locke and Latham research added to that goal setting, and that we all have a drive. They even talk about nature has this drive to growth. You see a plant that's growing, and individuals have the same need to grow, and that ambitious goal achievement, so goal setting, adds to performance. So that's a whole field of research where you want a very challenging goal as part of, and that will actually help you be motivated.
This is related to that learning thing we talked about, the being employable, etc.
Yes. Yeah. So the challenging goal adds extra motivation to someone who's already hopefully motivated, who's now really keen. And then we're talking, and there's so many different concepts that relate to performance, then we're talking about the need for harmonious passion versus obsessive passion.
I don't know what that is.
I know.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
So if I'm trying to prepare for today's podcast and I'm getting obsessive about the need to get through all my notes and have a look, then I'm going to burn out.
Sure.
Whereas if I'm in harmony and it's flowing, the state of flow that we all talk about, if I'm in a state of flow, it's much more likely to be successful. Even an elite athlete needs to be in a state of flow. A violinist, a concert violinist, is trained and trained and trained, and then just get on and just wing it.
Are you trying to say so the company, a good manager and company, will create that right environment for the employee to be in that state of harmony as opposed to...
But still wanting to be in an ambitious goal-setting...
what did you call it? Harmonious...
Versus obsessive passion.
Harmonious passion.
Yeah.
In pursuit of your role, of your duties.
And then you've got the world of elite athletes, and you talk about performance there, and you've got conscious training, and you've got subconscious, unconscious training.
Please,
the performance.
A few words about that. What's that?
Elite athletes, long distance or even short distance runners are trained. The finish line is not the line because they slow down. They see the finish line coming up. Workers do the same thing. End of a big project's coming up. That's not the end goal. We're then going to do this. Come on, keep going. So there's all of this understanding of the psychology of performance at elite level that we borrow from the elite athletes. Or I do as a hypnotherapist when I've got performance issues. Someone's trying to perform better at their workplace. I'm going to do hypnosis and let them see themselves perform and achieve that goal. And they've done it, that they think there's no way I can do that. My manager thinks I can do it. There's no way I think I can pull off that sale with that big client. And then when they see themselves doing it, they believe it. So again, we're borrowing from elite athletes, understanding and research on performance there.
A lot of history.
Performance is a massive,
massive. Many contributions into
many
it.
angles into it.
Yeah. Interesting.